Welcome to Roofing Road Trips, the podcast that takes you on a thrilling journey across the world of roofing. From fascinating interviews with roofing experts to on-the-road adventures, we'll uncover the stories, innovations, and challenges that shape the rooftops over our heads. So fasten your seatbelts and join us as we embark on this exciting roofing road trip.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Roofing Road Trips by Roofers Coffee Shop. My name's Karen Edwards and I am your guest host for today's episode. And we are excited to welcome Alex Manos from Polyglass to today's episode. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So we're going to be talking today about roofing foundations and specifically underlayments. But before we dive into that topic, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself to our listeners?
Yeah. I've been the product manager for roofing underlayments at Polyglass for about 2 years now. Before that, I was with Polyglass. I've been Polyglass for about 4 years now. I was managing kind of the roofing accessory products, and then prior to that, I had some management experience with some other roofing companies. So all in all, probably been in the roofing world for about 7 years now.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Polyglass and what they do.
Yeah. So Polyglass has been creating high quality roofing products since the 1960s, going all the way back over to Italy. And then the Polyglass and Zanchetta family kind of expanded their operations over the U.S. in the 80s. And then eventually moved our U.S. headquarters over to Florida in the 90s. And then since then, Polyglass has really become the leading innovator in the roofing industry. In the 90s, we were one of the first people to launch self-adhere technology with our Adiso technology. And then ever since then, we've kind of been continuing to innovate new roofing products with technologies like Seal-Lap Ultra, or Cure technology, some of our newer technologies with DuoFix, High Tread, and Burn Shield.
Wow. Yeah. I know Polyglass has always got announcements about this new technology and this latest thing. So you guys are a great example of what innovating in the roofing industry looks like. So let's talk about underlayments. First, I mean, just from a basic perspective, what does an underlayment need to do?
So at a minimum, an underlayment should protect the roof deck or whatever substrate it's going over, and either be a water shedding barrier or a waterproofing barrier that protects that roof deck until that primary roof covering is installed, whether that be a shingle, metal, or tile roof. But at Polyglass, we kind of believe that the underlayments shouldn't be a secondary thought. It should be a vital part of that roofing system. And that's why it's really important that underlayment meet the quality, performance, and application needs depending on what roof covering you're using.
Okay, so depending on what roof covering, so that's going to play a role, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, like, there are a lot of underlayment choices.
Yep.
So how do you know what is the right choice?
First place we tell contractors to start is what are the codes and approvals you need. So depending on where you are regionally, codes might dictate you need a certain ASTM standard, or you might need to have like a Florida product approval or Texas Department of Insurance approval. So that's always a good place to start. And at Polyglass, we test all of our products to kind of meet those ASTM standards, a wide range of those, along with most product approvals. So that's always a good place to start. And then it kind of goes back to, like I said, matching with that primary roof covering. So for example, if you're using a metal roof, it's important that you have an underlayment that's designed for those high temperatures, right? Because that metal roof will transfer heat, through to that roof deck. So you don't want that underlayment getting too hot, deteriorating, and then causing, I think, what's called typically tobacco juice. So you don't want that asphalt running down your roof after that metal covering heats it up. So for that, we have numerous products: Polystick MTS Plus, XFR, Polystick MX, and Polystick P. So those are like our high temp ones. And then, for example, tile. It's important that tile, it's going to be stacked on your roof. So you really want a robust membrane to be able to withstand that tile stacking and make sure those tiles don't slide at all. and have any issues there. And then also, if you're using foam adhesive, having a fabric faced tile underlayment is important so that you get that good mechanical bond, and then have good wind uplift values because of that.
So are there underlayments that are made specifically to protect from fire or protect, like talk about the different performance, I guess, features maybe that the underlayments can have?
Yeah, absolutely. So, over the past couple of years, we've seen storms intensify with higher winds, higher gusts, longer sustained winds. Um, and because of that, we've designed some different underlayments to address that. All of our self-adhered underlayments have great adhesion to stand up to that wind uplift value that you need. But we also recently came out with Poly Anchor HV, which is an anchor sheet. It's designed with dual fix technology, so it's kind of a replacement for that 30-pound anchor sheet that's commonly used by contractors. But this membrane has a fiberglass reinforcement. It also has a modified bitumen top surface. So when you mechanically attach it and then self-adhere on top of it, you get an incredible bond that really helps with those wind uplift values. You can use less fasteners to achieve the values that you want, so you're saving on labor time. Um, and that's really important in those high wind areas. We're seeing it not only in Florida where you have hurricanes, but seeing it all through the Midwest and in the plains and with tornadoes and things like that. So yeah, it's a great anchor sheet that really addresses the wind uplift issues that we're seeing. Um, and then on top of the wind, you have fires that are kind of spreading and becoming a bigger problem. Not just typically it's known as California has those big wildfires and things like that, but it's spreading throughout the West now, and we're even seeing it in places like Texas and even Florida. There was one on the news today that sparked up. So having
Wow.
a Class A fire rated underlayment is really important. And so we developed two Class A rated underlayments: Poly Stick XFR, which is our self-adhered fire rated underlayment, and Poly Anchor XFR, which is a mechanically attached underlayment. Poly Stick XFR is more designed for that high temp roof application, and then Poly Anchor XFR is mechanically attached and is more designed to go underneath tile. And still, with both products, you can achieve a Class A fire rating with only one layer versus the old way of doing it was using a slip sheet that was fire rated and then putting your underlayment on top of that, or some type of two-ply system with like a 30-pound felt and a granulated cap. So by doing it with one membrane, you're saving on material costs and labor costs.
I want to talk a little bit about the difference between mechanically fastened and self-adhered.
Mm-hmm.
And when is it better to choose one over another?
Depends on a lot of contractor preferences, first of all. So some guys just like to mechanically attach. Some guys like to peel and stick. They think it's a little bit quicker. You're not putting holes in your roof as you're mechanically fastening, so you have a nice monolithic bond between your underlayment and the deck. Some areas dictate whether you can go directly to the deck with self-adhered. Sometimes our self-adhered is very strong, so when it comes time to re-roof, it's not always the easiest to peel back off. So what a lot of contractors will do is they'll keep that initial self-adhered there, use a mechanically attached anchor sheet, create like a new substrate, and then be able to put a second layer of a poly stick self-adhered underlayment on top of that.
Okay, wow. We talked a little bit about innovating at the beginning of the conversation, and I wanted to circle back to that and talk about some of the innovations that have allowed Polyglass to provide underlayments for all these different scenarios, right? And these different situations. You guys must have a huge R&D
Yeah.
team, right?
Yes, our R&D team is very busy, and we get great support from our sales and our technical team, seeing issues that are out in the field and hearing complaints that contractors have. And so our goal is to use whatever technology we can develop to minimize that labor aspect, and then also creating a safer roof system, right? So it's not just this matches the high temp that you need, but with with the fire rated underlayments, now you're protecting your investment and using that burn shield technology to ensure that your roof's going to stay in one piece.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, underlayment is a pretty key part of every roofing system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are you able to have some underlayment that is, what's the exposure? Like if you're a contractor's putting on the underlayment, but maybe their roofing materials delayed,
Yep.
what's that look like? And is that safe?
Yeah, so we have a wide range of exposure ratings, is what we call them for our underlayments. So some are down to 90 days. Some of our more basic shingle underlayments like Polystick IRXE or our Polystick MX, our lower end metal underlayment. But we have some our TU Plus, which is our very robust tile underlayment, it has an exposure rating of 360 days.
Oh, wow.
And then our TUP, which is more of a niche product, but it's also a granulated surface tile underlayment that has an exposure actually of over 1,000 days. And right now, that's really important because we're seeing some really long lead times with tile. So that means a contractor can install this TU Plus or TUP, for a while and dry that roof in, make sure everything underneath it is protected and waterproofed, and wait until he gets his tile and not be in a rush or in a pinch to schedule all of his projects.
Right. Gosh, I hope they don't have to have that up for 1,000
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know we still have some supply chain issues, but
Hmm.
that's a really long time.
Yeah, but
Um,
most of ours are they're around usually 180 days. So that's typically all the long you need to wait for a roof covering. So yeah, we have a nice wide range of exposure ratings.
Now, what's the learning curve? Or if a contractor's never used polyglass underlayments
Hmm.
and wants to get started, how easy is that? For them to pick it up and just be installing it.
Yeah, I mean, for the mechanically attached ones, it would install, like if they're installing 30-pound felts and things like that. They have very similar nail patterns and things like that. So those are pretty quick to pick up. And then for our self-adhered, if they're new to self-adhered, it's a pretty simple. People call them peel and sticks, right? Because that's kind of
Yeah.
the installation process. So um, yeah, we have a great technical team, and if somebody were to be new to it, we would get our technical team out there and show them. But it's I have very little roofing background, not a lot of hands-on experience, but I've installed my fair share of it, and it's definitely not as difficult as it is some other roofing products. So, and we also have
Okay.
a poly school too that we send a lot of new contractors to, and they do a great job of going through all of our products, especially our underlayments.
Okay, so it's kind of hands-on. You
Yeah,
go to this training poly school, and then you
yep,
you get to
yep.
try it. You get to do it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll host poly schools at either our main facility in Winter Haven, or sometimes our poly school can travel around and kind of teach a crew if that's what's needed. And then they'll do a presentation for a couple hours, but really what they like to do is get their hands on the material and show guys how to do it.
So you mentioned, listening and gathering feedback, and the whole process of innovating and creating new solutions. How often are you in the field, working with and talking to contractors?
As a product manager, we try to get out, a couple times a month. The more we're out there, uh, the more, like you said, we get more information back, and we rely really heavily on our technical team. We'll meet with them and they'll give us feedback of, hey, they're really liking this aspect of the product, but they're not liking this. How can we, create a new one or maybe even tweak an existing product to make it, better for our customers. And then our sales team, they're always coming up with great new ideas. So we always have a nice backlog of products to develop. And really it's also staying up on code changes that can drive a lot of product needs. So, we had some code changes happen in Florida. And that's kind of really what drove our Polyanchor HV product.
Wow, yeah, it's got to be well, I'm sure you have a full-time person that's just tracking codes, right? I mean,
Yes,
there's so
yes.
many and
Yep.
so many different jurisdictions. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
we kind of go with a whole holistic approach with new product development, and anybody's able to come up with an idea, whether it's, you know, a new person that just started at our plant, or, you know, a seasoned codes person. Anybody who has an idea is more than welcome to bring them to product management and kind of let us vet that out.
I like that. And
Yeah,
no idea is a bad idea, right? We want to hear it
exactly.
all, and then maybe it will inspire
Yep.
something else.
Yeah, yeah, and that happens a
Nice.
lot where we're like, oh, we had this idea, didn't work in this application, but maybe we can use it on the low slope side or building envelope side, things like that. So, yeah, always trying to, again, back to, you know, Polyglass's core of being innovative and open to new ideas.
Excellent. Now we have a few weeks before the Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Show is happening at the beginning of June. Um, will I see you there? I'm sure I will.
Yes, yep, I'll
Okay.
be there. We'll have a whole crew there ready to go. So, yeah, we're all Polyglass is always very excited for the show.
Okay. So contractors could stop by and see and touch and feel the products.
Yeah, we'll have samples of pretty much every underlayment product, and we'll also be doing a demo with the Polyanchor HV product. So we'll be doing some different nail patterns there, some nail patterns that will save some labor time and really showcase the Polyanchor HV product and show that great adhesion that it has with our polystick underlayments. And yeah, we'll have samples, literature, usually have some videos playing in the booth, and we'll have our whole team there. So product managers, sales reps, technical reps. So yeah, please swing by and pop in with any questions.
Yeah. That's going to be here before we know it. So
Yeah.
definitely, we'll make sure we talk to you at the show, and we'll make sure we come by and check out some of these cool products.
Yeah, I love that.
So how can contractors learn more about your products?
First place to start is our website, polyglass.us. If they want to talk to somebody specifically, like a rep in their region, we have a rep kind of, you can punch in your or zip code and find the rep that's closest to you if you want to talk to that person. But you can also find a lot of great information just on the products alone on our website, whether that be data sheets, sell sheets, application instructions, product selection guides. There's a lot of good content there to go through and kind of just get an introduction to Polyglass products.
Excellent. I know you guys have certainly a lot of options for a lot of different kinds of roofs
Yep.
and waterproofing. So yeah, be sure to check it out. Like you said, polyglass.us. Polyglass also has a full directory on Roofers Coffee Shop, and we have a lot of product information and articles out there that you can visit as well. So Alex, thank you for spending the time with us today and talking all about underlayments. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode of Roofing Road Trips. Be sure to follow us on social media. Listen to additional episodes on whatever platform that you get your podcasts from. And we will see you next time. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed the ride, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us on every roofing adventure. Make sure to visit rooferscoffeeshop.com to learn more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next roofing road trip.